All right. Hey, welcome back to another exciting episode of YOML, Year of Extra Learning. Today I'm in a new scenery because my power went out, but we continue to do the thing that we do every single day, live our core values, and here we are again. So today we're on episode 106, and the book was
On the Road by Jack Kerouac.
and on with the show we go. Chris,
Yeah,
take it away.
come hell or high water, we'll keep rolling. So this is
Exactly.
book 106, and the book is On the Road by Jack Kerouac. It's a 1957 novel by the writer Jack Kerouac. It was inspired by his personal adventures with one of his friends, and just tells the story of two friends that set out on a cross-country road trip on a quest for meaning and true experience. It's considered to be a defining work of the beat countercultural generation. You ever heard of a beatnik before? So like
Yeah.
the beatniks, it was about jazz and poetry and drug use, and some of the key figures of the beatnik generation were like Dean Moriarty and Carlo Max and Jack Kerouac and people like that.
Right.
So anyway, this book is kind of like the book that really launched the beat generation, and this was Jack Kerouac's most famous book. With that said, I'm going to share my screen and we'll talk about the reflection. The reflection title for this one is Don't Start Your Quest Until You Have a Compass. So a few months ago, we did book 67, which was Big Sur by Jack Kerouac. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
So that reflection was like, I basically said, this dude is sad. I'd heard the name Jack Kerouac and I came across the book and I was like, I guess I don't know what he's popular for, but I know the name. So I was like, I'll check it out. So I check out Big Sur, and this is just a quick recap of that reflection where I'm like, man, this guy's life sucks. I was like, this is depressing. I feel bad for him. I was like, this guy's miserable. He's a drunk. He hates his life. He's just lost. And this is him when he was in his early 40s or something like that. A lot of Jack's works are based on his life. I mean, he's writing about himself, whether he uses his real name or not, but they're about his life, I was like, man, this guy sucks. I was like, this book sucked. I was like, this wasn't even that good. I was like, why is this guy so famous? After I finished that book, I started to research a lot more about Jack Kerouac. I was like, well, what is the deal? It's like I saw Michael Jordan when he was playing with the Washington Wizards, I felt like, or something like that. He was all right, but like this dude sucks. Old, he's out of shape, whatever it may be. He's not Michael Jordan, I was like, why is this guy Jack Kerouac? Like, why do I even know his name to even want to go? So what I discovered was, when I was researching him, that he was this guy that started the beat generation and the subsequent beatniks after him. He was like one of the key figures with the writing that he did. And this book in particular was like the book that really like launched that generation out there, So I thought, hey, look, if this is the height of this guy's career, like I'll give him another chance. I was like, there's got to be something I'm missing here. So that's why I picked up this book and I was like, we'll see what happens, right? Because if you remember right, the last reflection for Big Sur was like, what happens when your quest doesn't find a purpose, or something along those lines? Because he was just questing for too long and he had nothing came of it, and he was just stuck in this rut. So I read this book, and as I'm reading On the Road, I kind of get it a little bit more. These young 20-somethings that are full of energy in life and ready to explore the world. They have an idea, they have some questions about life, and they're willing to go find the meaning, challenge the status quo, adventure, excitement, and never knowing what's coming next. I didn't really like the writing style. He's really fast, and he's kind of, it's hard to describe the writing, but either way, I get it. Like I could at least understand the appeal as to why this would appeal to somebody. It was exciting. It was people that were bucking the trend, and they were like, look, I see things differently, and I'm going to go explore the hell out of this. I don't care if my parents don't like it. I don't care if the society doesn't value this. This is what we're going to do, and this is how we want to live, and this is what we want to go explore. So I understand now where that at least came from, and I can kind of see where that would be of value. However, this goes back to the whole conversation with Big Sur. Questing is a delicate thing, right? Like when you're on a quest, it's like a double-edged sword. It's always fun and exciting in the beginning because you don't know where you're going and you're asking new questions and you're letting the road take you to wherever it takes you. The problem with questing is, though, like it's a double-edged sword because if there's no direction at all, like, I mean, you could easily just be chasing your tail all over the place and, round and round and around the drain, if you will, and end up like Jack Kerouac and Big Sur, like, where you're 40 years into it and you're still, doing the same thing. Like the whole point of questing is to do what they did at the beginning of On the Road. It's to ask the questions, it's to go experience the world, it's to go find answers, it's to go, try new things, right? Like if you're going to jump off if you're going to go the countercultural way, like you better have some end game here, or you better at least have some compass, is what I like to say, to guide your path, right? So that's the big lesson that I feel like that I learned from this book is don't do what Jack Kerouac did, where you just start your journey and get on the road again and drive and figure it out, right? If you're going to do this kind of thing and you're going to quest, you always got to start with your compass. And your compass needs to be your values. So that way, when you start to feel like you're getting a little lost and you don't know which way to go or whatever, you can always go back and look at your values and go, does this align? Where we're talking about, like, does this align to this quest that you and I are on together of living for two, of all the other stuff that's important to me, is important to you? And I could just go where the wind takes me, see where it comes up. But like, that's why you have a compass, because that compass will keep you going towards your purpose and at least finding that purpose someday and staying aligned with that purpose, or it won't. So like, if you're going to go on a quest, make sure you always start with a compass. That's the lesson for the day.
Yeah, so I have to agree. That aligns to my value. It gives me energy. It gives me inner energy
Right.
to endure any kind of hardship, because I can endure it easily. If I were to go do something because it aligns with my value, because is that what I need to fulfill, then I don't mind the heat. I don't mind the cold. I don't mind the fasting. For me, health is important. I don't mind the fasting. I don't mind the once a day diet or whatever. And for me, it's worth. It's like when you have a value, that fulfillment for you, right? That value, it is large compared to the effort you pay for. We're talking about, hey, if I were to be in a desert and I am very, very thirsty, right? Somebody say, hey, I have a glass of water, but I want, $100,000. The glass of water is still higher in terms of value than my $100,000 of cash or gold or whatever machinery, whatever I can trade for. I would trade for it. And to me, that kind of gives me the image of when your value aligns, right? The outcome or the thing that you get out of it, it is going to be so huge. I'm price sensitive, because if somebody offer me something cheaper, then I'll take it. But in reality, a lot of times, if you have something that is a perfect fit for you, and because you are unique, the solution or the things that you value also be unique. Therefore, there's no substitute until you understand your value, i.e., your core value, where your compass can tell you what those are.
Right.
Until then, the things that you see in life are basically a general effort, a general benefit. And when you don't see the details of the benefit, then you take these things as commodity and you compare them. You say, well, a glass of water, why would I pay $100,000 for a glass of water, right?
Right.
Because to you, you don't see the fitting to the thing you need.
Right.
So for me, like a compass is truly powerful, because if you have a compass that can always point to your core values, it doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna have a more fulfilled life than the other people who doesn't.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it remind me, it's also about when you want to go fast somewhere, make sure you get on the right bus first before you go and get on the gas pedal and just run in the wrong direction versus my direction.
They're all wrong directions. They're all wrong directions if you have no idea, right? Like, so I think about, like, this book is a pretty big symbol, right? Like, you just get on the road and you start going, right? Your quest never ends. Like, your entire life is your quest, right? The problem with
But are you collecting the data points that it's going to aligns with the core values and effort that you're looking for? Because you can collect anything, but to
right,
you, it's junk, right? It's just junk. Whatever you collect along the way, along your journey, it's junk. It's not something that you say, well, I could use this, or you can just go randomly and you can pick up stuff, but it's all useless to you. You're not attached to any of them,
right.
right?
Yeah,
And so for me, you have to have a compass first. You have to know where you're going, and you have to know what other things is going to, I guess, make the compass point to that direction. And
you just
if
have
you
no
don't,
idea how to gauge. You're never gonna know if you're going in the right direction or not. I mean, you might have an idea of where you want to go, but the truth is, like, I always love this saying that I heard along my own quest. I don't know where I'm going, but I know how I'll get there, right? Like, that's the compass, right? I know how I will get there. Like, I know when I get to a fork in the road or whatever, I know which direction to go because I know what to leverage at that point in time. I can't control the forks that I hit along the way. And that's the problem that Jack Kerouac, in my opinion, like he just went and he was like, we're going to go this way. Then we're going to go that way. Then we're going to go this way. Then we're going to go that way. And all of a sudden he just found out he was in the same spot the whole entire time and he never went anywhere. But when you start a quest, it's freaking scary, right? It should. I mean, when you break the paradigm of everything that you've known in your life and you begin a quest down a new path, like that's scary. It doesn't have to be, but it is scary.
My point is that it can be scary,
right?
But it doesn't have to be scary. That's
if
my
you have
point.
A compass,
is you have options.
Right.
You have options. Right?
Exactly.
It can be scary. I'm not saying it's not scary. And I never said that. I said it didn't have to be. And it's the same thing I'm saying. Is like if you understand what it is you're looking for, what it is that you have, what your callings are, then when you set out, you have the tools you need to make this thing less scary. I mean, it just, like I said, it doesn't have to be scary. It could be scary, right? But the point is that if you prepare, if you have a compass, if you have tools, you have the things in your tool belt, then you can go on this quest with more confidence.
Then it's so fun. Like the quest is so fun when you have confidence and you have an idea and you have a purpose, an end destination that you're trying to get to. You know, like I said, I don't know where I'm going, but I know how I'll get there, and I know how. I don't know where that end leads at the end of the day, but I guess happiness. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is, you're right. Like it could be exhilarating and fun and exciting, and the quest should be that. I mean, that's what the quest should be. Amazing. Like it shouldn't be scary. It should be amazing. And it can be. It's just when you do something like what Jack did and you spend your whole entire life running around in circles, rudderless, then you end up, I mean, he died when he was in his late 40s or something like that of alcoholism. I mean, like that's really sad. The people that are so full of life and ready to go tackle the world and try new things and ask the big questions, and to put themselves out there and to explore the world and to do what we're supposed to do as humans,
So it exhausted him because, when you're doing something, but it doesn't align with your core values, you don't have that energy to invest back in.
Man can overcome any how as long as he has a why.
And that's my point is when you have that, right? That's the energy that continue to recycle and continue to push forward. And it's actually spiral up to you actually gain more energy as you explore, as you do your quest.
Right.
But on the other hand, right, when you spend the energy, but then when you get in something that's not aligned with your core value, the thing you accumulated becomes useless. And that drains energy more and more. So the people who started quest when they were younger, right, they have all this energy, but eventually they get to the point where they get much more in age, then they become exhausted and die of depressions they could not take in alcohol, in drugs, whatever, to get them a sense of boost. And that's, to me, is, a lot of the question. And, we talk about this before, everybody going to quest, whether you know or not, you always going to be questing for something or not. That's what life is.
Right.
Life is about finding the next step. And for me, how people quest, which is like live life, without, how do they compensate for the scariness of questing or living life?
Actually, you made me think of an interesting question off of that. Would you rather have this be your life? You're on your quest. You have a compass. You have a purpose. Obviously, that's what we're trying to go for.
Right.
Meaningful work, meaningful relationships. Obviously, we all know what you and I want. But if you had to pick between those other two, of never starting your quest, so just going life status quo.
No, you don't exist. No. If you don't have a quest, you're going to be the saddest person ever. Imagine yourself sitting in a room doing nothing. How long can you last? By yourself. Questing is life. You have to quest because that is the essence of life. So when you were born onto this earth, you are questing.
Right.
If you stop questing, you will die. Just like, I don't care who you are. Like we talked about this before. Like in prison, when you do something really, really terrible and horrible, they put you in isolation.
Right.
I mean, they put you in isolation like for 3 days, and then the guy come out change just because he's isolation. Humanity cannot stay in isolations. And so for me, you have to quest. So the only two options you have is you quest on a random chance, or you quest with a purpose, with a compass. And so to answer the question I asked you is, how do people cope with questing and be less scared?
I mean, it's you have to have a purpose and a why behind it.
How do you, no, they don't do that right now. I'm asking you how to do it right now, today.
Oh, you
How
mean
to do this,
if they're on a quest, like how can you?
which is life, right? Which is, we know everybody's on a quest.
Right.
So so the option is they do what we're asking them to do, which is find your purpose, get your tools, get your compass, and there's another method which is people are doing today.
I
That
don't know.
method is social proof.
Yeah,
They just follow whatever other people are doing it. So they
makes
have
sense.
to, right? And we have been using that concept of social proof to validate some of these things for millions of years.
Right.
We have that tendency. Social proof is a
So
very, very powerful
somebody else did a quest.
psychological.
It resulted in something good. We all say, "Oh, that was good, so we should try that."
So what happened is random, right? So let's say Jack Kerouac aimlessly wandered the wood, right? And 1 in a million or billion chance,
He
one of these Jack Kerouac will find
discovered
a,
Buddhism.
a Buddhism,
Yeah.
and then they pass on, and then eventually enough people do follow the Jack Kerouac way,
Right.
the one that works, right? So in a million parallel universe of
Right.
Jack Kerouac, one of them, one timeline hit something, right? And then more people will start follow, and then when they follow to a certain extent, right, maybe 10, 15, 18%, like the book Marketing from Malcolm Gladwell, right?
Yeah.
It's a
Tipping
tipping
point.
point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
18%, it starts tipping, and everybody starts to follow, right?
Right.
So it's the social proof. Like when you look at social proof, everything is about social proof. Like the brand, the trust, the word of mouth, everything is about social proof.
Right.
You did it, I did it too. It's how people used to cope with, kind of be out there. The people don't actually do these by themselves, with exception with a very rare small percentage of people who are quote unquote like the pioneers and the leaders that actually go and do the oddball thing like Jack
Right.
Kerouac. But like I
Right.
said, when you do the Jack Kerouac way, the Elon Musk way, or
Right.
the Steve Jobs way, there are millions, there are probably like millions of people who want to be like Elon and Steve Jobs, but those other quote unquote Steve Jobs didn't make it.
Right.
The only one that in the news is the one that make it, right? And so that's why people start to follow the Elon and the Steve Jobs, right? So if Jack Kerouac had made it because he found some big,
Well, he did make it. I became Jack Kerouac. He's the reason why. Like he still is one of the most famous authors in American history.
right?
He started a whole movement. The beat.
Exactly. But so go back to what I'm saying. It's a social proof, right? People
Right.
use social proof as the compass, but
Right.
it's a problem with that is it is not your compass. It is
Right.
not your compass. It is the community's compass. Like just like we're talking about, like you go to a company, right? It is not your culture. It's not your core value. It is a company's core values,
Man,
right?
you're
And
you're
so
you're you're so right about this. And it's such a good point. I think the reason why this book is so appealing to so many people is because they don't set out on their own quest. They at least they respect the quest. I think they respect the quest, like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, or whatever. I think people just look at them and they go, "I respect the quest. I'm not going to do it myself, but I respect the quest." Now, what we don't know is, does Elon Musk have values or purpose that he's going toward? What we don't know is Steve Jobs. Does he have a values? Does he have values? Does he have purpose? And I actually think that he does. I don't know what they were, but I think he does.
everybody does. Everybody does.
Well, we're talking about those guys. Like, but then think about like Jake Paul or the YouTube fight guy or whatever. That like, I don't know. I mean, he's questioned, but I don't know. I'm feel like I'm confident in saying that he, at this stage, I don't know that like for every Steve Jobs, I guess I don't want to shit on Jake Paul because I don't know him. But so my point, I guess the point of what I'm getting at is this: is exciting to watch people on a quest. That's entertainment for us, right? It can be for other people. That's fine because I mean, hell, look at what we're doing. We're on a quest and we're producing content based off our quest and sharing it with people. If they want to be entertained by it, they can be entertained by it. But at the same time, like, it's what you never know is behind the quest, is there a compass? Is there a purpose? Like that's something that TBD, right? Remains to be determined throughout future. And does that quest continue on without that person, right? Like, because that's really the best part of a quest is, does it live on past your death? Like, I don't think there's a whole lot of beatniks out there anymore. Like it didn't live on past Jack's death. And clearly Jack his quest did not have a beautiful question at the heart of it, and values.
Right, but at the end of the day, the evidence gives you the clue. If Jack died from alcoholic, right? He didn't like it.
Right. Yeah, he didn't like his own quest. Yeah, I mean, for sure.
He didn't like it, and that's the point. Is who cares if I die? Who cares if Steve Jobs died? Whatever. No one cares, right?
Right.
The point is only you care about your life. Only I care about my life. Only Steve Jobs cares about his life.
Right.
And that's the point. Is every one of us are uniquely made on Earth. Even for millions of years that we've been on Earth, we are the only one with this exact same set of DNAs and molecules, right? And there's only one of us. Our quest is only important to us. Steve Jobs' quest is not important to me, and my quest is not important to Steve Jobs or Elon or anyone out there, even a homeless person, right? The point is you have your own quest, and it is uniquely yours, right? So you have to find your compass. Oh, this is a universal quest, and it's your quest, right? You can say, hey, Elon is this, and he's really successful, and he has the secrets to success, and this is the key to success. But I'm telling you, this is the key to his house, to his success, not to yours.
Right.
So it's not the same thing. So go back and look at the fundamentals, right? What it is that you care about, what it is that you have to do. Who are you? Are you a sloth? Are you a beaver? Are you a fox? Are you a tiger? What are you? Don't try to get a tiger to be a sloth and say, hey, you act very sloth-like. Mr. Tiger, I give you an A+ for adhering to just because they're a bunch of sloth.
Right,
for example, let's say society, the way I think of society is like, okay, let's look at the majority rule, right? So how many tigers are there on Earth, right? Let's say how many mosquitoes are there on Earth, right? Oh, mosquito is bad. Therefore, mosquito, how to behave, it should be like the mosquito like. So, Mr. Tiger, you should behave like mosquitoes because mosquito is majority rule. This is what I see the world is coming to. Is everything is about follow the masses.
Right.
And whoever is the majority, let's say sloth has become majority, then a tiger must act like a sloth. Otherwise, you're not successful.
Right.
You don't belong. To me, that sounds kind of silly, right?
It sounds stupid. I mean, my quest isn't your quest either. We have a shared quest together that
we value things that we have common, right? We have in common values, but not all values the same. For me, like for you, like you live for two, you endure, right?
Yep.
Those are high, right? Mine is going to be like the integrity thing is high. Mine is freedom, and my health is very high, right?
Right.
I wouldn't rent for train. I don't care if you give me so much money to, let's say for me to do something like to harm somebody and you give me $1 million for it, I would do it because that benefit is not a high value for me.
What if well, no, I feel like this is a why are you yelling topic, like, because I could think of like 500 scenarios as to why that might align actually to my values to take somebody else's life potentially. I'm not saying that is what I want to do, but I'm saying I could probably think of some scenarios that happen to align to my values where where it's like it does make sense.
I'm sure, for example, a bottle of water in the desert, like how much is that worth to you, right? It's worth 100,000, right? What if I give you 50,000? Would it worth it? If I give you $1 million, well, it's gonna tip. So the thing is, the value you have is gonna be so high compared to an average normal, like in the majority concept thing, where if you ask everybody how much a bottle of water was worth to them, right? They could say maybe average $10, something like that, right? So for somebody, I'm just giving you conservative numbers, okay? $10,000, and I've probably been more than that.
Right.
That is called the patel. right? Remember from concept,
Mhm.
it's a fat tail
Yeah.
because when you align with that, you have that fat tail, and so yes, so even though it's high, but there is a value. It's so high, 100x, 1,000x, but it's so high, but there still has a value. If you say, let's say I give you a million X, right? Sure, it's gonna tap,
Right.
right? There's nothing absolute, but that's my point. Is that the
Yeah.
scale from a $10 to $100,000 or $1,000,000 for a bottle of water, well, it is doable.
I think we could make it into a why are you yelling topic for sure. You just reminded me of a topic that I wanted to write about potentially that I didn't do any, and I totally forgot about it. Because this is what happens when you don't write it down. This is exactly what happens when you don't write it down. You
You
have a good
always
idea. Well, it's not even that. I mean, I'm gonna go mark it down in my Evernote, but this is why I mark down thoughts all the time because there's no way that I can remember some of these things because the spark, like it's like once that idea sparks and that question sparks and that thought sparks, and you don't take it out of your head and put it somewhere, spend
right.
more time with it or whatever, it's just gone. Poof, it's gone.
Yeah.
So you reminded me of you just happened to spark back my idea, a thought that I had when I was reading A Brief History of Time, the Stephen Hawking book, where so many things in physics, there's a lot of things that he talked about that I kept hearing the words, let's assume, or there's an assumptions made here. And it's like anytime that I hear the word assumption this point in time, like that's the only thing that you should focus on in the theorem. I don't even care what the rest of it is, but like that's the thing that is 99.9% probably going to be wrong. That's all that I kept thinking about when I kept hearing this is like, let's assume, black hole theory does blah, blah, blah. And all these words, I had no idea what he was talking about. But every time I heard the word, let's assume this, I was like, I think I'm catching on to a trend here of like, whenever like Einstein would go look at something that other people assumed, like that was when breakthrough happened. Like I got to write this stuff down. You just sparked
So
a
I think it's the question, the assumption leads to breakthrough.
questioning assumption.
Yes,
That's a
you
good
have
one.
to
Yeah.
question the assumption to make the breakthrough. Because if you can assume and we're inheriting the debt of our ancestors.
I love it.
We
All
talked
right.
about
Well,
this yesterday, right?
you just got me a good topic to write about in the next couple of days. All right. Thank you. Any other final thoughts, I guess, for the day?
Always
Compass
get a
handy.
compass. Get
That's
that
don't
first.
even start your quest. If you're gonna
Get
quit a
that.
quest, just get the compass first.
But by default, you are already on a quest, whether you know it or not.
Correct. Awesome. All right. Well, it's great catching up, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Sounds good.